Time now for legendary Fleet Street editor and columnist, top broadcaster and no-nonsense TV favourite Anne Robinson, a star of the small screen, and entertained millions of Brits for almost 12 years on the BBC's Weakest Link, with playful performances that continue to go viral like this.
I'm a full-time single mum to 3 boys.
How many of your 3 boys have got tags on their ankles?
Well, none so far.
So you're doing benefits, are you?
I knew, I was waiting for this. I'm doing a 24/7 job, really.
Are you on benefits?
I am on benefits, yes.
Yes. And what happened to the husband?
Well, I've had 2 husbands, to be honest.
Have you?
I think I've worn them both out.
Now, it's a sign of the times that you would never see this kind of banter on the BBC today, because they've turned the show into the WOKEST Link, all to please an army of online crybaby woke-topians who choose to take offence at hilarious throwback clips like that. So, Anne Robinson, when
all
you
their
see
mothers
your greatest
want to kill me when I've done that. It's so shameful.
But you don't feel ashamed, do you, Anne?
No.
Stand by it.
No, because, I mean, it was great fun, and you shouldn't have been on it if you didn't want to be insulted and put down, really.
But now...
No,
that's not what happens on the Weakest Link. Have you seen it?
I was thinking, someone was asking me the other day, and I remember if anyone was pretty big, I'd say, what do you do when you're not eating? And now you can't say that. And I remember we had a care home worker from Wales, and her main job was bathing elderly people in the care home. And I said, what if you put them all in a people carrier, turn down the windows and take them through a car wash, because that would be so much easier and quicker. No, you can't do that anymore. You can't do anything.
You can't. And actually, so much of the Weakest Link... I mean, by the way, I loved the Weakest Link. My grandma and I used to watch it every day. And it was just... No, we did. It was so fun. But a lot of it was comedy, wasn't it? It wasn't serious. It wasn't to be taken seriously. But you couldn't make those jokes on the BBC today, or actually probably anywhere on television.
Well, in fact, they've brought it back, and they did ask me to do it, and I said, you'd be wasting... I'll cost you a fortune, and you're wasting your money, because I couldn't do... It started with a letter, a fax, actually. Do you remember, are you old enough to remember when there were fax? See, you're so much better looking in real life. I only really came on to find out.
I was expecting some real put-downs,
Anne. No.
Come on.
You're gorgeous.
This is your time to come for me.
Let me tell you, we got this fax which said, we're doing this new quiz show. Anne will look as if she knows the answers to the questions, and she can ease the disappointment of the contestants as they leave. But when I finally met contestants in a rehearsal room, they are very feisty. You could send them to Afghanistan, and it was obvious I could be me.
But the difference is these days, though, is that folk...
Have you had a facelift?
No.
Why do you look so young? Yes, but 20 years ago.
But how old do you think I am?
Well, I know, because somebody out there said he's 38, but he's very mature.
I'm actually 39.
What?
40 next year.
You're 48?
No, 39. 40 next year.
Are you just 39? Right.
Just 39.
Very good skin, Dan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can keep going.
No, I know. Go on. Crack on.
How recently have you had a facelift, Anne?
20 years ago.
You look incredible.
Yeah. When I went in to have the facelift, are your viewers interested in my facelift?
Probably not, but go on. I am.
OK. So the surgeon said they marked some bits green and some bits red, and they said there's the definites and the maybes. And I said, just do the lot.
But look, you are retired now, which I can't believe, because, of course, you had this stint on Countdown on Channel 4.
Too much work.
It created a lot of headlines, your relationship with your...
What, with Rachel?
Rachel Riley.
Well, I think it's quite difficult to work with me, actually.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So you take the blame for the fact that it didn't work out between the two of you, or do you think...
I mean, she's brilliant. I don't think it didn't work out. I think we just had to have a quieter studio and do it my way. And once we did that, there was no problem.
But she might have thought, this is my studio. I've been here for longer than you.
Very possibly. But you can't have everything you want, can you, Dan?
But she's still there and you're not. So it was your choice to go.
Well, I think, to be fair, it was 3 days a week, every other week in Salford. And it was 5 shows a day. And I just thought, it's too much, really. It's my fault for taking it. Nothing to do with Rachel, who's really good.
But obviously, you have had a career where you have always been on to the next big thing. So how does it feel now?
Well, it's quite nice
because
you have time to enjoy all your homes. You'll have as many homes as I have eventually.
I wish.
And you see your grandchildren, and you can do your garden, and you can go on holiday. And this is the first, what did I do? Oh, I went to Ireland to do something. I haven't done anything for about 6 weeks, actually.
OK, well, look, this is the perfect time then to get your take on the state of the world, and lots going on.
But I don't have your certainty. I mean, I see you in the Daily Mail. That's rubbish, talking about the palace needing to do something about...
Do you think?
Yeah, listen. Do you know, are you old enough to remember Mrs Thatcher?
Of course.
OK. When she left office, they said to her, after 11 years, what have you learnt? What's the most important thing you've learnt in 11 years? And she said, never to do anything until you absolutely have to. So what the palace need to do is just keep quiet and just let them run out of steam. What they need to do is offer them, I've got the perfect solution to Meghan and Harry. OK, they need to be permanent ambassadors in Rwanda. Because they can tell people, what it's like to be rich and to care.
I think that's a great idea. Whether they would accept, I'm not so sure. But do you not feel, though, that by the palaces, because this is my contention, because you're right, King Charles doesn't plan to do anything.
No, and quite right.
He doesn't want his courtiers attacking his flesh and blood. I think that's a bit naive, because I think these two are on a mission to try and bring down the royal family and the monarchy.
They will eventually run out of steam. I think they're far less popular than they were a year ago.
Do you respect them?
No, they're two silly little people, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we do. We do just need to let them just get it all out of their system.
And I read an interesting take from you on the whole claims of the royal racist. This was a member of the royal family asked about the skin tone of Meghan and Harry's unborn baby. Now, you say, based on personal experience, that you don't think that was racist.
No, also, my grandchildren are innate Chinese, OK? I wouldn't have thought... I don't think we did, actually, but I can't remember. We would have said, I wonder what they'll look like when they're born. What's racist about that?
Well, I don't think...
I mean, I'm furious about what happened at the palace, actually. I tell you why, because...
With Lady Susan Hussey.
Because it is time, whether it's bullying or whether you think someone is being racist, it is time we stop moaning after it has happened. Why didn't she say to Susan Hussey, I find that offensive? Susan Hussey could have said, why do you find it offensive? They could have had an intelligent discussion.
And instead,
she goes on
Twitter, an 83-year-old... loyal, elderly lady under the bus.
She's running a charity. She's 61 years old. She must have the brains to say, I find this offensive because...
But don't you think she's, for the Fulani, or Marlene, some people say her real name is, but she is the Ngozi Fulani, the woman who runs the Sister Space Charity.
You know everything, don't you, Dan?
Marlene, apparently. Yeah. But to me, she represents everything that's wrong about our current perma-victim culture. Yeah. She has found international fame now because she has almost luxuriated in being a victim. And she doesn't care.
But she's head of a charity. She's not meant to be a victim.
Hussey. Exactly.
My daughter has freckles, very, very bright red Rastafarian red hair. OK, is it wrong if someone says, gosh, where do your people come from? And she will say, we're very Irish, we're Liverpudlian Irish. Is that offensive?
Not to me.
No.
And I don't think it should be offensive to anyone, actually, to ask where you come from.
Okay.
I feel like she went into the palace, though, looking to be a victim. You know, she had previously said, this woman, Fulani, that Charles and Camilla were responsible for domestic violence against Meghan. So to me, this was someone who had an agenda. It was quite an extreme agenda. And what depresses me, and I'm interested to know your view, because, of course, you were a Fleet Street legend in your day, most of the media now are too scared to challenge this narrative.
It's very, but it has to be challenged, and it has to, this Susan Hussey has been she's a terrific person. You'd love her. She's a great speaker and drinker. Yes, and her husband was a brilliant chairman of the BBC. They were a wonderful couple, and nothing offensive was meant by it. And she should, 61 years old, running a charity, she should have said, I find that difficult that you're asking me that, and this is why.
Do you think Hussey should be reinstated to her position?
Well, she won't be now. She won't be.
It's a very sad way.
It is very sad.
To end 60 years of public service. By the way, she never asked for a penny.
You sure you haven't had a facelift?
Never.
No, right. Very
Never.
good,
Not even
Dan.
Botox, actually.
Really?
Not even Botox.
Good heavens.
Because I think you've got to grow old gracefully. Don't, but
Do you? It's easy to say that at 39, isn't it? Eh? Wait till you're 78.
Give me 10 years. And the other big issue in the news at the moment is, of course, the trans debate, which has turned incredibly toxic, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I just wondered what you thought about the cancellation from polite society of J.K. Rowling for sticking up for the rights of biological women.
Never mind her. What I want is some open debate on it. If someone wants to disagree with what I think...
What do you think?
I think we should have an open debate. I think a woman is someone with a vagina. How many times do I have to say that? And I also want to emphasise the minute number of trans people who have surgery.
Yeah, that's
minute.
Yeah. Which means most trans women have penises. And that can be an issue.
Well, don't use issue, because it's just a boring word, Dan. It's a problem, not an issue.
Sorry.
Right.
You find it a big problem, this?
Yeah. Well, I think, public bathing pools, anywhere where women should have the privacy to change without risk, then it's a problem.
See, this is why you can't retire, Anne.
Why's that, darling?
There's too much to talk about.
There is too much. Have we got anything else we can talk about?
Well, I did want to ask you just finally about what you thought.
Are we nearly at the end?
We're nearly at the end, but I just wanted to ask you what you thought of our political leadership today. I mean, you mentioned Thatcher earlier, and my God, in the Conservative Party, we're lacking that Thatcher-like figure, aren't we?
We're also lacking politicians. I had dinner with Michael Gove the other weekend, and I was saying to him...
Are you friends?
Yeah. Well, he's a journalist, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And he's clever, very clever, should be leading the Conservative Party.
Really?
But actually, not only are they dull, the politicians, they also, none of them have got the art of public speaking. If you look at the 5 that came up as possible prime ministers, about one, Kemi Badenoch is good on her feet, but the others are hopeless.
I like her a lot.
I don't know why you think you go into politics and don't learn how to talk out loud properly, excitingly. That's why Boris was so clever.
So do you think he should be back before the next election?
I didn't say that. Now, let's jump 150 degrees.
Yeah, I think he should.
Yes, but that's because you're 39. You're only a baby. You've got so much to learn.
The thing is, Sunak's not going to win the election, though, is he?
No Conservative leader's going to win the election. The Tories are going to come in, the Labour are going to come in, and Keir Starmer. Do you know Keir Starmer wants to abolish the House of Lords? How many lives do you think that'll save? Do you think it might be better if Keir Starmer wanted to abolish the NHS as it is and get an NHS that saves lives? I think so.
Anne Robinson.
Is that it? It's gone so quickly.
Please come back. We've only been asking you for 18 months. I always win in the end.